He had waited 3 years for this one morning, and in less than 30 seconds, it was slipping through his fingers on a busy city sidewalk under the bright daylight sun. The glass towers shimmered above him, reflecting a sky so clear it felt like a promise. Armin Qureshi stood outside the towering headquarters of a global tech firm, his resume folder tucked carefully under his arm, his heart pounding with a mixture of hope and fear. This interview wasn't just another opportunity. It was the dream he had rebuilt from the ashes of loss, rejection, and sleepless nights spent raising his 5-year-old son alone. Before we go any further, if you believe kindness and second chances still matter in this world, take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to Brightly Kindness. Stories like this remind us that even in our darkest hours, one good choice can change everything. Armin adjusted his tie, trying to steady his breath. He had left his son Rayyan at a neighbor's apartment that morning, promising him they would celebrate with chocolate cake if Baba got the job. The position, Senior Operations Manager, came with stability, health insurance, and enough income to finally move out of their cramped one-bedroom flat. It meant a future where Rayyan wouldn't have to watch his father calculate grocery bills under the dim kitchen light. The interview was scheduled for 10:00 a.m. It was now 9:32. He took a step toward the revolving doors when a sharp sound cut through the air, a screech of tires followed by a dull thud. A silver sedan had braked suddenly near the curb. Just beside it, a young woman collapsed awkwardly onto the pavement. For a split second, people froze. Then they did what crowds often do, they stared. Armin's first instinct was to look at his watch. 9:34. If he walked away now, he could still make it. Someone else would help, surely someone closer, someone more qualified. But the woman wasn't moving properly. She tried to sit up, her face twisted in pain, her blonde hair falling over her eyes. Her red blouse was slightly dusted from the fall, and one of her heels had snapped cleanly in half. Papers had scattered beside her, fluttering in the breeze. Without fully deciding, Armin found himself running toward her. The pavement was warm under the late morning sun as he knelt beside her. She was conscious, but her breathing was uneven. Her ankle was already swelling rapidly beneath her beige skirt. He carefully helped her sit upright, moving the broken heel away. She tried to stand, but the moment her foot touched the ground, she winced sharply and nearly fell again. A crowd had formed, phones discreetly lifted, but no one stepped forward. Armin removed his blazer and folded it under her head to keep her steady. His hands trembled slightly as he examined her ankle. It didn't look like a simple twist. It was already bruising. 9:41. His phone buzzed in his pocket, a reminder notification for his interview. He swallowed hard. The woman's eyes met his. There was pride in them and frustration. She tried to brush him off at first as if embarrassed by her vulnerability, but when she attempted to move again and couldn't, something in her expression shifted. It wasn't just pain, it was fear. Armin made the decision then. He flagged down a cab instead of waiting for an ambulance, knowing it would be faster. He gathered her scattered documents, slid them carefully into her leather briefcase, and supported her weight as he helped her into the back seat. She leaned heavily against him, trying to stay composed. The driver hesitated when Armin gave him the hospital name. Traffic was thick at that hour. "Please," Armin insisted quietly. As the taxi pulled away from the towering building behind them, he looked at his reflection in the window, the tie, the pressed shirt, the hope, and felt it slipping away mile by mile. At the hospital entrance, he helped her out gently and insisted on staying until she was checked in. He filled out temporary admission details when the receptionist asked for assistance. He waded through the initial examination, packing the hallway under bright fluorescent lights. 10:17. He closed his eyes. 3 years of effort, countless rejections, all for a chance he had just missed. The woman was taken for X-rays. Armin finally sat down, exhaustion settling into his shoulders. He thought about Ray-Yin waiting at home, probably drawing superheroes on scrap paper. He imagined explaining to his son that sometimes doing the right thing costs you something big. He wondered if Ray-Yin would understand. An hour later, a nurse informed him that the ankle was fractured but stable. She would need a cast and crutches but would recover fully. Relief washed over him in an unexpected wave. He hadn't realized how tense he'd been until that moment. When he stepped into her hospital room, she looked different, less guarded, more human. The strong, composed exterior had softened. He told her she would be okay and that he had to leave. She looked at him as though she wanted to say something more, but he shook his head gently. He wasn't.